Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me here at Journey of Faith with Pam. Hopefully, you're all having a great weekend. I'm sure many of you are out trying to catch a good deal on the Black Friday sales that are going on. As far as me, I'm not a big crowds person, never been a Black Friday person. I try to go on more of the off hours. If you are doing that, God bless you. It's just never been my cup of tea to go out and try and fight for a good deal. Either that or you're making your travels back home from your holidays with the family. Please make your travels safe and get back home safe and sound. Let's get started. I've got a Bible verse here for us. This one is from Psalms 56:3, and it reads just real simply: When I am afraid, I put my trust in you. And that made me think and wonder why it seems that our country is pulling more and more away from Christ. And kind of wonder why. Is it maybe because we're putting more of our faith in man than in God? Why does it seem like more of the church is being kind of condemned? I'm not real sure. But it was a question, and I thought, well, let's look into that. Maybe there's also a good number of people that question the Word of God and question God's existence and Jesus Christ's existence altogether. So I thought, well, you know, there's a few things that are not in the Bible that might give you a little bit of proof. There's a lot of things in the Bible, but if you don't believe in Jesus Christ, talking about the Bible might not be convincing for you. But let's take our forefathers and the Constitution. Part of that Constitution says, "Do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America." Do ordain simply means with ministerial or priestly authority. So that tells me the Constitution was wrote based upon the Word of God. And that means that's what this country was formed and created on. All right. Not convinced, I'm sure. It's okay. Another thought I had. You ever gone into a museum? Some of the most amazing and older artifacts have to do with the crucifixion or the Virgin Mary or the church. Now, why would so many museums have artifacts about the crucifixion or the Virgin Mary that are thousands of years old? Another thing that's right in front of us all the time, and we may all take it for granted, but it's been going on for thousands of years. That's about how our time has been based for thousands of years. You've got BC, which simply means before Christ, or AD, which means after death. That's plain and simple. So if there was never a Christ, how could you have BC, before Christ? If there was never a Christ, how could you have AD, after the death of Christ? Another interesting fact is near-death experiences that many people have had. And many of these people have reported the same type of scenario of going through tunnels and experiencing brilliant, bright lights that just felt of love. And many even saying that they've seen past loved ones. Well, for the longest time, scientists would explain that away, saying that, well, it had to do with the brain. Well, a lot of these people, they were showing no brain activity at all when this would take place. So if they're showing no brain activity, how could they experience anything that's pretty much what they were saying in their head? But now the scientists are even questioning it because many of these people are experiencing very much of the same thing. And then after these near-death experiences, these people, so many of them, they've changed their lives. They end up turning their lives over to Christ. That tells me, from what they saw and what they experienced, they didn't want to miss out on that. They knew that there was something else out there, and they wanted to make sure that they got to go back. And some have even said, I got a glimpse. I questioned it before. I don't anymore. Plus, then you take some of the stories from the Bible. Take Noah's Ark. And it was supposed to, it says that where he had stopped the ark. Well, you've got now archaeologists who claim to have found the true location of Noah's Ark in October 2021. Well, if that's part of it too. So if they can find a part of Noah's Ark, there had to have been a Noah's Ark to begin with. Let's take Moses and the parting of the Red Sea. Many have questioned that story because they would go, how could anyone part the Red Sea? He didn't. He didn't. Jesus Christ gave him the power to do that because he wanted to save his people. But now they are saying that in that location where he supposedly parted the Red Sea, they can see that there is an underwater path which shows parts of chariots' wheels deeply embedded in the coral. How do chariot wheel and parts of chariots get down there? The only thing that could explain that really is the Bible. Another thing. Have you ever known someone that was extremely sick? And there's many things that I could come up with this. What I'm talking about is the power of prayer. Have you ever known someone that it was extremely sick or pretty much maybe even on death's door? And the doctors have said there's really nothing that we can do. And whether so many of these people, whether they were believers or not, and felt that they were so helpless to help their loved one, would all gather and pray for this person. Then shockingly to them, they would see the results. And they would see what the power of prayer could do. Anything is possible. And you know, so many times right now you hear people that are talking about just doom and gloom. And that, this is going to be our last holiday. This is going to be, we're looking at the end of the world. Nothing is impossible. Because I still believe, what is her name? She just came out with a book and she's on Fox News. And I believe the name of her book that she came out with, I haven't gotten it, but I've seen her promoting the book, is Prayers Can Still Move Mountains. Yeah, they can. And anything can happen if we all pull together in the power of prayer. And if we all believe enough, you'd be surprised at what could happen. Well, I hope that was maybe a little bit of an enlightenment for you. And I think what I'd like to do is start giving you some stories about people that their lives have been turned around. They've seen miracles in their lives because of the power of prayer. Because I'm a firm believer in the power of prayer. But that will have to be in another video. But for now, have a blessed day, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye for now.